I didn't even remember his name, but he remembered mine. And when I found out what he left me after his death, my entire family completely lost their minds. My mother called it weird. My father looked uncomfortable. My brother immediately asked how much money was involved, and my sister went completely silent the moment she read the letter. That's when I understood why they were all so afraid. Is there anyone in your life that you wish you could get revenge on? Tell me in the comments who that person is and what they did. I'd really like to know your story. And please don't forget to like and subscribe so I can continue bringing you these stories. Your support helps me keep creating and sharing new content for you. My name is Elena Voss, and this is the story of how a man I could barely remember changed my entire life and exposed how my own family truly felt about me. I was 27 years old when I received a letter from a law firm I had never heard of before. The letter simply stated that a man named Mr. Harold Bennett had passed away and had left something for me in his will. I stared at the name for almost 5 minutes, but I couldn't recall who he was. I had no memory of ever meeting anyone by that name. I showed the letter to my family that same evening during dinner. My mother was the first to react. "Harold Bennett," she said with a frown. "Who is that? I don't remember anyone by that name in our family or friends." My father took the letter from my hand and read it carefully. After a few seconds, he looked up with a strange expression on his face. "This is weird," he muttered. "Why would some random man leave you anything? Are you sure this isn't some kind of scam?" My younger brother Ryan leaned forward with sudden interest. "How much money is involved?" he asked directly. My sister, Sophia, didn't say a single word. She just stared at the letter and went completely quiet. That silence from her was more noticeable than anything else. I told them I would visit the lawyer's office the next day to find out what it was about. My mother immediately tried to stop me. "There's no need for you to go alone," she said quickly. "We should all go together as a family. It's better that way." I politely refused. Something about their sudden interest didn't feel right. The next morning, I went to the law firm alone. The lawyer, Mr. Richard Hale, was an older man with a calm demeanor. He asked me to sit down and then placed the file in front of me. "Ms. Voss," he said gently, "Mr. Harold Bennett was a close friend of your late grandfather. He passed away recently, and in his will, he specifically left something for you." He opened the file and slid a document toward me. When I read what was inside, I froze. Mr. Harold Bennett had left me his entire estate. It included a large farmhouse on the outskirts of the city, several acres of land, and a significant amount of money. The total value was over $2.7 million. I looked up at the lawyer in complete shock. I don't even remember him," I said. "Why would he leave all of this to me?" Mr. Hale gave me a small smile. "Your grandfather once saved his life many years ago when no one else helped him. Mr. Bennett never forgot that kindness. Since he had no children of his own, he decided to leave everything to you, the granddaughter of the man who once helped him." I sat there in silence for a long time, trying to process everything. When I reached home that evening, my entire family was already waiting for me in the living room. The moment I walked in, I could feel the tension in the air. My mother stood up immediately. "Well," she asked impatiently, "what did he leave you?" I looked at all of them, my mother, my father, my brother, and my sister, and for the first time, I saw something in their eyes that I had never seen before. Fear. I walked into the house that evening with the lawyer's file in my hand. The moment I stepped inside, I could feel the heavy atmosphere. My father, Victoria, and Sophia were all sitting in the living room, waiting for me. It looked like they had been discussing something important. My father was the first to speak. "Well?" he asked, trying to sound casual but failing. "What did the lawyer say? What did that man leave you?" I didn't answer immediately. I walked over to the single sofa and sat down slowly, placing the file on the table in front of me. I could see the greed and curiosity in their eyes. Victoria leaned forward. Isabella, don't keep us waiting. What did he leave you? Is it money? Property? I looked at all three of them, one by one, before finally speaking. He left me everything, I said calmly. The farmhouse, the land, and a large sum of money. The total value is over $2 million. For a moment, the room went completely silent. Then Sophia let out a small laugh, but it sounded forced. $2 million? Are you serious? My father's eyes widened. He leaned forward in his chair. $2 million? He repeated. And the farmhouse too? Victoria's expression changed. She was trying hard to hide her excitement, but I could see right through her. This is wonderful news, she said, forcing a smile. This is a blessing for the whole family. We should sit down and discuss how we're going to manage all of this together. I looked at her and replied, There's nothing to manage together. I've already taken care of everything. My father frowned. What do you mean, you've already taken care of everything? I opened the file and slid the documents toward them. I moved the entire inheritance into a private trust this morning, I said, before I even went to the lawyer's office today. The trust is under my name only. None of you have access to it. The silence that followed was deafening. My father's face slowly turned red. Victoria's smile disappeared completely. Sophia stared at me like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. My father was the first to react. You did what? He shouted, standing up from his chair. Are you out of your mind? Why would you do something so stupid without talking to us first? Victoria's voice was sharp. Isabella, this is not a decision you should have made alone. That money belongs to this family. You had no right to lock it away like that. Sophia finally spoke, her voice filled with disbelief. You moved everything into a trust without telling any of us? Do you even understand what you've done? I looked at them calmly. I understand perfectly, I replied. I did exactly what Grandpa told me to do before he died. He warned me that the moment the money became mine, all of you would try to take control of it, so I protected it. My father's face was now completely red with anger. Your grandfather was old and confused when he made that will. That money should be managed by the family, not locked away by a stupid 18-year-old girl who doesn't know anything about the real world. I looked at him without any emotion. If I'm so stupid, then why are all of you so angry that I protected the money? Victoria stood up as well. This is unacceptable, Isabella. You will reverse this decision immediately. We are your family. We have every right to be involved in how this money is used. I shook my head. No, you don't. That money is mine, and I've made sure that none of you can touch it. Not now, not ever. Sophia's eyes were filled with anger. You're being selfish, she spat. You're doing this because you hate us. You've always been jealous of me, and now you're taking revenge by keeping all the money to yourself. I looked at my sister and replied coldly, I'm not taking revenge, Sophia. I'm just refusing to let you all treat me like I don't matter anymore. My father pointed his finger at me. If you don't transfer that money back into a joint account by tomorrow, you will regret it. I will make sure you don't get a single rupee from this family ever again. I stood up slowly and picked up the file. You already made sure of that years ago, I said. I'm just returning the favor. I turned around and walked out of the living room without looking back. As I climbed the stairs to my room, I could hear them arguing loudly behind me. My father was shouting, Victoria was blaming him, and Sophia was demanding that they force me to reverse the trust. I closed the door of my room and sat on the bed. For the first time in my life, I felt like I had finally taken control. They had spent years treating me like I was invisible. They ignored me, criticized me, and made me feel like I didn't belong. But the moment they realized I had something they wanted, they suddenly remembered I existed.
And now that I had protected myself, they were panicking. I didn't feel guilty, because for the first time, I had chosen myself over keeping the peace. After I walked out of the living room that day, the arguments in the house continued for hours. I could hear my father shouting at my stepmother and Sophia crying dramatically in her room, but I didn't go downstairs. I stayed in my room, calm and quiet. Over the next few days, they tried every possible way to change my mind. My father came to my room the next morning and tried to act reasonable. "Isabella, listen to me," he said. "I know you're angry, but this decision is going to hurt all of us. That money should stay in the family. If you keep it locked in a trust like this, people will talk. They'll say we're fighting over money." I looked at him and replied, "They're already talking, Dad, and I don't care." He got angry again. "You're being selfish. This is not how families work." I stayed calm. "Maybe not in this family, but I'm done pretending that we're a happy, united family when we're not." My stepmother, Victoria, tried a different approach. She came to my room with tears in her eyes. "Isabella's sweetheart, I know we haven't always been close, but we're still family. Your father is under a lot of stress because of business. That money could really help us. Can't you just transfer it back for the sake of the family?" I looked at her and said, "You mean for the sake of your lifestyle?" She didn't answer. She just wiped her fake tears and left the room. Even Sophia tried to emotionally manipulate me. She came to my room one evening and sat on my bed. "You know," she said in a soft voice, "Mom and Dad are really upset. They're fighting because of you. If you just give them access to the trust, everything will go back to normal. Why are you creating so much drama?" I looked at her and replied, "Because for years I was the drama when I asked for basic respect. Now that I've taken control of what's mine, suddenly I'm the problem." She got up angrily and left. Over the next few weeks, things became very quiet in the house. My father stopped talking to me completely. Victoria avoided me. Sophia would give me dirty looks whenever we crossed paths. I didn't feel sad about it. I felt relieved.
2 months later, I moved out of the house. I rented a small apartment in the city and started living on my own. I used a portion of the trust money to pay for my higher education and invested the rest carefully. For the first time in my life, I felt free. My family tried to contact me a few more times after I moved out, but I kept my distance. They realized that I was no longer the same girl who would give in to guilt and pressure. One evening, almost a year after my 18th birthday, I received a message from my father. It was short. "I hope you are happy with what you've done." I didn't reply, because the truth is, I was happy. Not because I had money, but because I had finally stopped letting them control my life and my decisions. Is there anyone in your life that you wish you could get revenge on? Tell me in the comments who that person is and what they did. I'd really like to know your story. And please don't forget to like and subscribe so I can continue bringing you these stories. Your support helps me keep creating and sharing new content for you.